Welcome to CoolPainter VR, and we're going to continue with painting made easy. I'm going to have another little example here. Before we start, we're going to go to our paint menu. We're going to make sure our painting is on diffuse, and we don't want shiny. And then we're going to go and we're going to load in our picture. And right now I want to load in a kind of a before and after. On the left, we have a photograph. I found it on the internet. You could Google parrot, you'll find it. But it's just a picture of a parrot. A lot of nice colors. But this is kind of difficult to do in CoolPainter because you can't do shading. And so, as I've said previously, what I use is a program called Paint.net. It's a free program for the PC, Windows, and you can download that, and then you can bring in this photograph, and then you can reduce the number of colors using a feature called posterize, and that will make this much easier to do in CoolPainter. So now I'm going to go back in, and I'm going to go ahead and load the parrot that has been posterized. And this is going to be our painting. We'll start off with the head, and I'm going to bring that down a little bit so I can reach it. We're not going to try to get all of that detail in there, but it's a good place to start. And the white, we can do the white as one big area and then go back in and put in some of these little lines just from memory. Same thing over here. So let's start with white, and we'll go to our palette and select white, and we can just begin now using the flat brush. We'll go ahead and start putting in some white. I know it doesn't look like it's as bright a white as the painting, but it will be the white that we can use. And I'm just going to go ahead and put that in. I'm going to go ahead and go around the eye so we kind of know where that eye is. And as I've said before, using that flat brush, you can adjust the thickness by how you hold the trigger. And so we're just going to go ahead and put that, fill that all in. And then we're going to go and get a darker gray and just kind of put that around that. And then we'll go in and get our black and just put in a little and that's probably good enough for that. We can go in now into that light gray, and we could go into our other paintbrush, and this one is a much more like a pencil, thin brush, and we will use that to put in some of those lines that we saw before, just kind of going from memory. Okay, now let's go back into our flat brush, and let's do again, starting over here with the white, and let's do the beak here, and we'll just fill in that white portion. All right, and then we'll go over here. This looks like a kind of a real pale yellow, but it's so pale that it's almost white. And we'll just kind of put that in there. And then we've got kind of a pinky color, pinkish color. Go over here and let's see if this is going to work here. And I'm just barely holding down that flat brush to make it as absolutely as thin as possible. And we'll just go ahead and put in that pink color there. And up here as well. All right, now we have a little bit darker color there. So we'll go in here and we'll let's see here. It looks like a kind of a brownish color here, so I'll go ahead and put that in. And we don't have to do all of these different colors. Basically, we want values. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill that in and fill that in. And we want a much darker gray now for this part of the beak. Alright, and we'll just fill the rest of this in with, let's put the black in here. Okay. And I think the rest of this we can do with a kind of a medium gray. I'm not going to bother putting in all those other shades. Alright, and the same thing over here, make that a little bit lighter gray. And here. And up here. Okay, so it looks like we've got some good angles on that. And I didn't want to do that. So it looks like we've got the basic beak here, I think, and now we can start working on the head, and that's going to be a nice bright red. So let's go up here to red, and let's go ahead and put in the, let's go ahead and put in that brightest red first. We'll go ahead and get this red up here, and we've got a nice bright red. So let's go ahead and put that, whoops, didn't want that in there, and let's put that in there. And a darker red. That's looking awfully dark. Let's not use that dark red. Let's use that bright red for this color here. I think that looks more like what we've got, and then we'll use a lighter red for the top of the head. Okay, and we'll go over here. I'll get a little bit darker. I think this looks more in keeping with the colors that we have here. And then we'll go in here and get the darker brown. Let's put that underneath that. All right. And let's do that top of the head. We'll go back to the, let's see here, go back to that red, and let's bring it up here to a little bit lighter shade, right about there. And I'll go ahead and put that in there. All right. Looks like we've made some progress here. Let's continue this down. And we'll say all of this in here, we're going to, oops, all of this in here, I think we're going to do this brighter red. All right. This is very relaxing. That's the wonderful thing about painting, is it's just very nice and relaxing. Really, the purpose is not to create great art. The purpose is to relax and enjoy creating something beautiful. All right, let's go in here. I keep putting that way up there too high. Let's go ahead and select this right here. And we'll go ahead and fill this in. This is going to be basically be this color all the way down. All right. Okay. And we have a darker brown still, and that spot like that. So let's put this in here now. And I'm going to have to move that up now. We're getting down to the limits of my thing here. Let's go back up to the head and let's work on that a little bit more. That's more kind of an orangey color there. So let's put an orange color in here. Make that a little bit brighter. And we'll just keep adding that color in there. And then we want that yellow. I keep getting that too high up there. Let's go ahead and pick a yellow and make that a light yellow. And we'll just go ahead and put that in there like so. And let's get a kind of a pink color in here. Need that dark brown again in here. All right. Okay, let's see. We've got quite a bit done here. Let's go ahead and remove the picture background and see what we have so far. We should be able to see here. So let's go into our paint brush menu, click on that picture image icon, and you can see now that we have, let's get rid of that. You can see now that we have the head and of the parrot, and it's looking pretty good. There's more detail that we can put in, but I'm working quickly here since this is a demo. Let's go back and put the picture back, and now let's move this in and let's work on this section right here. All right, let's go back to our red and nice bright red, and let's go ahead and whoops, a little bit too much pressure on that. I'm not getting that quite right. There we go. All right, and let's do slightly darker red here along the edge. Bring that all the way down. Okay, and we'll use that same, a little bit darker. And let's go ahead and put in this little bit of color. Well, that's a little bit too dark. Let's go back up to here and let's try that. Well, I'll go with that. Now there's not enough contrast here. I want that a little lighter. Let's go back up to here. That's good. There's contrast between both of those values, so that's good. Now we can see that extra color there. And we're going to continue to work our way down. Now let's go ahead and work on this blue and the shading in between. So let's go and let's look at a blue. We want it to be darker than that, so that looks about right. Let's go with that blue, and we'll just put that blue in there. Okay. And now let's go ahead and put in a darker blue. Okay. Let's go with this blue right here, and we'll just kind of put this in right in there. And we've got some greens in there. Let's go ahead and put the greens in. Parrots are very colorful, so let's go ahead and put in kind of a green here. And I'm not going to worry too much about all those different shades because we're just doing there we go. This is just a painting that no one really needs to know whether all those colors are there or not. When they see the finished painting, they're just going to see something really, really pretty, and that's what we're looking for. So let's go back to the orange here. Let's put a kind of an orange color in there, and some yellow. All right, and we'll put in, that's kind of a nice, I like that little purple color there. Let's put a little bit of purple in there. Okay. That's kind of nice. And we'll go back up and get that yellow that we looked at before. It's got a little bit of orange in it. Let's bring that down a little bit. And that doesn't look very yellowy, does it? Let's get rid of that. Let's go back up here and let's get that brighter. Well, I think it's going to have to do here. Let's see if we can get a brighter yellow than that. Okay. Still looking for that elusive yellow, that bright yellow. Let's try this. It looks green on screen, but I think that's about all we're going to be able to do here. Okay. Well, we've got some good color in there, and I think that's the whole purpose of it's getting this parrot, is just to get that color in there. All right, so let's we've got some holes here we're going to have to cover up because background's going to show through that. So let's let's go ahead and get rid of the background so we can see where we are. So let's get rid of that painting, and now we can see the background. Let's lighten the background so we can see where we are. So we'll go to options and let's put in now you can see all the holes that we need to fill in. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and work on that. All the holes don't have to be filled in, but we do want to let's see here. Let's select some yellow. Actually, I think we left some of that there for a little different color. So let's go ahead and put in some orange in there just to get some different color. All right. And under here, and under here. And see, what we're doing here is, if you look at this painting, you can see it's just a very thin thing. So we can work behind this when we're putting in background. So I'm just going to put that there, and now I can select colors, and let's go ahead and select that dark green, and I can work behind this and filling in some of those dark spots, or open spots I should say. And we'll just go ahead and put those in there. It doesn't really matter. I'm putting in such little color. It's just basically a dark color. Let's go and get black in here. Okay. And you can see that as we're filling in this background, working behind the color, and the same thing over here. We'll just use some of this black and put it behind here just to fill in some of these spaces. Let's see, again, we want to go back to the red. Red. And let's fill in some of this with some red here. Now when we go bring in that, we should be able to see that most of these, let's see here, we want to get a gray here. We'll be able to fill in most of these open spaces with some color. And okay, so I think we have this, whoops, I think we have that pretty much filled in. So I think we'll go ahead now and bring the picture back in, and let's move this back here. So now we want to, let's see, we're close to getting finished here. Let's go ahead and work in this area right here. Let's move that up and get the rest of the parrot and his claws there. And so let's go ahead and find that dark brown and put that in there. All right. Okay, so now we've got that. We'll go put in a little bit of red here. Oops, that's a little bit too bright. Let's get let's see, about like that, I guess. All right, and then we want black. So let's go and put the black in here. All right, and I think we have about got that. All right, now let's go ahead and work on the claws and on the branch there. The branch is different shades of brown. So let's find a brown here, and let's do the, we're not going to put all of these colors in here. We're going to break that down into about 3 shades. Usually when you want something to look three-dimensional, you have to have at least three shades, a highlight, a medium color, and then a shadow color. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and put in the lighter shade and then work towards the darkest. So let's go ahead and use this color, and we're just going to go ahead and put that in there like so. And that'll kind of give us the basic highlights, there we go. So we've got that in there. Now we're going to go to a medium shade of brown, and let's use this shade. Go ahead and put that in there. Alright, and then we've got the dark brown. I'll put that in there like so, and then maybe I'll put it over here as well. Okay, so that's an indication of that tree stump. It's not going to look photographic, but we're not particularly interested in photograph. We're doing a painting here. And so now let's work on this claw, and that's going to be shades of gray. So we'll go up here to the blue and get a little bit of a blue-gray in there. Let's go ahead and put that in there. And we'll also do this one over here. All right, and darker gray. And a darker gray here. And there's a white for the okay. And put a dark gray in there. And we're still just kind of filling this in here. Not too worried about the detail in this part. When people look at a painting, they usually look at the head first. And so we're just kind of put in some basic shapes here. This is really all we have left to do is this section right here, and I think it's coming out pretty well. So let's go ahead and put in, go back to those blues again. Okay, all these different button pushes. All right, so now let's go back to that blue, and that looks about right. Well, that's a nice color. It's got a little bit of purple in it, and that looks really pretty. So let's go ahead and put that in. Add some of that color up here. And let's go with a black in here. Paint behind that if possible. Okay. And let's see. Let's go ahead and get a lighter blue here. Okay. Let's go ahead and put that lighter blue in there like so. And let's see, one last thing I think we can do is put in some little light. That's a little bit too light. There we go. Put a little bit of light in here that help that stand out a little bit. All right, I think we have again, we're going to see some holes, and we probably can fill those in easier if we get rid of the background painting. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, now we can see the various holes. And what's this section right here? Did we miss a section here? Oh yeah, we missed a whole section. Let's that's why it's helpful to get rid of that painting every once in a while. We just have this one section to do right here, and we'll go back to our red, and that's kind of a, let's do the bright one first. All right, let's do this in here, and then we'll do a little bit. Okay, and then the darker. All right, put that in here. Again, working rather quickly just to get this color in here. Whoops. And it looks like we have. Now, let's go back and let's get rid of the photograph, and we can again go in here and start filling in behind here just with some dark color, just to kind of fill in this area here. And I think for the most part, we can say that this is done. All right. Let's go ahead and push that back. And I think I think for a painting, I think that's done very nicely. Let's go ahead and save that. And it looks like we have completed our parrot. For the background, you can go ahead and put a background if you want to. I think what I will do is just go into let's go into the mode options, and let's just make that a darker. I can make that a green. Kind of a green that kind of gives it a forest look. Okay, let's go with a green. And then we'll go ahead and save this. And I thank you all for joining me. I think if we save this, we might be able to do a redraw. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go to mode. I'm going to go to save to USB. Take my little photograph here, and it's saving the scene, and it has been saved. And so if we wait 10 seconds, if we're lucky, it will do a redraw. Otherwise, we can go back in and load it and resave it, and sometimes after 2 or 3 tries it'll do that redraw. It doesn't look like it's going to do it here, but it's just an extra little fun thing to watch it redraw. But anyway, again, thank you for joining me. This was a very quickly done example or a demo of painting a parrot, and I hope that you learned something, and I hope that you will be able to use these techniques when you create your own artwork. Until next time, we'll see you later, and enjoy using CoolPainter VR.